Hey, Don Wallace. Good looking, Don Wallace.
Today's opening words are written by Sarah C. Stewart, who's the minister of the First Unitarian Church of Worcester, Mass. Bring who you are as you enter our church this morning. Bring your best self and your struggling self. Bring your mistakes and your triumphs. Bring your shortcomings and your recommitment to good. Bring yourself here and open your heart to beauty, to truth, to the door that is open to the presence of God, or Spirit of life. Here in this church, we are trying to walk together on the peaceable way, trying to hammer out division and hatred and all that separates one from another. We try, and we will fall short. But held in love, we try again. We come together this morning as a church to bow our heads in prayer, to raise our voices in song, to remember our promises and vow to live by them once again. Welcome to the virtual worship service of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Lakeland. My name is Ken Wechter. I serve this community as moderator of the adult discussion group, new vice chair of the board of trustees, and I'm the worship associate for today. I use the pronouns he and him. Unitarian Universalists know that diversity and pluralism is a strength. To be multicultural, multiracial, and multigenerational is the only way to build the bridge to a new way. That is what we value, not what we fear. We identity and life experiences. Here, you are affirmed and you are loved. Today's service is a celebration of connection. And what better way to celebrate than to actually connect? Connection and interaction have been devastatingly low for the past year, so today we're going to try some outside-the-box worship activities. Whether you're a member or if you're brand new to us, we are so grateful that you are here to worship with us. Our space will be made sacred as we light our chalice. Tim would come forward. We light this chalice to proclaim our faith, whatever shape it takes in our hearts. We light this chalice as a symbol of hope, to heal a fractured and hurting world. We light this chalice to represent our community, beloved in friendship, caring and concern. We light this chalice to represent the warmth of love. May it catch fire in the world beyond our walls. We light this chalice to light the way forward, eager to see a brighter future. Blessed be. Join us in singing Spirit of Life in 123. A religious community is like the web of life, formed from our many paths that meet and merge into a net of safety, comfort, and encouragement. As members and friends of this religious community, we share our time and energy, our creativity, imagination, our vision, our talents, skills, and gifts. But this community also depends on our shared financial support that makes real our shared values and vision. We will now receive an offering for the support of this religious community and its works in the world. You may mail a donation to UUCL or submit a donation through the PayPal link that will be posted in the chat space. You are invited to give generously and joyfully as you are willing and able.
Before we play the music for the sharing of abundance, I would like for us to just join in a moment of collective silence as we remember that BIPOC lives, that's Black, Indigenous, people of color lives, are still in harm's way. That COVID is still surging around the world, and that humans are still living as if there is not a climate crisis. So take in a big breath of peace with me, and then let it out as love. We will have music in just a minute, I'm sure. I think we're experiencing some technical difficulties with our new technology. So, I think we know it. I don't know. It's in the teal hymnal. Oh, 2 seconds. Hold on, 2 seconds. Thank you for your patience. They're getting it, they're getting it. They're determined. I will give them a lot of credit for being determined to make it work. Hold on, I think they... Got it.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, I breathe out. Breathe in, I breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
architect team. You guys are awesome. Before we enter into a celebratory space that honors this community, our history, and the work that love calls us to, let us also remember that we reside on the homelands and territories of the Seminole, as well as other historical groups, including the Calusa, Tocobaga, and Timucuan. In fact, this very land that our church is built on shows evidence of possible encampments. At one time, there was a spring-fed pond here. Florida Avenue was once a trail through this land for the indigenous peoples. And Kino discovered charcoal remains from a campfire about 2 feet into the ground once as he was digging some post holes. Let us remember this as we tend to our buildings and grounds with care. Today, the state of Florida is home to the Seminole, Miccosukee, Muskogee, and Choctaw, and to individuals of many other Native groups. May we pay respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to their descendants, to the generations yet unborn, and to all indigenous peoples. May we recognize the ongoing relationships of care that these indigenous nations maintain with this land and extend our gratitude as we live and work as humble and respectful guests upon their territory. Thank you. We will start our morning off with a candle lighting ritual. This is going to involve a little bit of participation and some hand raising. Do you know how to raise your hand in Zoom? I know how those in the sanctuary know how to raise their hand. So I believe down at the bottom of your Zoom screen, there is a little icon that says reactions. And in those reactions, there's one that says raise hand. So when you hear your appropriate place to raise your hand, then I will ask you to do so. And Ken is going to help me in this candle lighting ritual. Our Unitarian Universalist congregation of Lakeland ancestors are the ones who physically bought this land, built some of our buildings, raised the money to create this space. They're also the ones who made sure there was a safe and welcoming community, who created a religious education program to promote justice and compassion, who came together in times of strife and times of joy. They are the ones who made this community of support, challenge, and love. For our UUCL ancestors who left us a legacy of love, we light this candle. If you are a visitor or a new friend of this congregation, I ask that you now please raise your hand on Zoom. I see Irene. You have come here today, new friends, maybe for the first time, maybe you've been coming for a while. As a visitor or friend, we welcome the ideas that you bring. As you challenge who we are, and help to create who we will become, we thank you and light this candle to honor you. Will the youth and children please raise their hands? We've got Wesley out in the congregation today. You are the future and the present of our faith. As children and youth, you have much to teach the adults about how the world works. For your vision of the present and the future, we thank you, and we light this candle to honor you. And the Friend family have children and youth also. Will those of you who have been members for 5 years or less, please raise your hands. Ooh, we have Vaisal and Justin, Joshua and Petra Sussman, Jack Pepper here. Ooh. And Wesley, we already, yes. And we have a whole slew of you there on Zoom. Fantastic. You have made a special commitment to the vitality of this congregation. Your vision is already starting to make a difference in who we are. For this new commitment, we thank you, and we light this candle to honor you. Look at all those hands. Yes, indeed, your vision is very present. Will those of you who have been members for 5 to 10 years, please raise your hand. How long have you been here? Oh, okay. You are no longer the new members here. Your opinions and leadership have great impact as your time here lengthens. For your ongoing support and commitment, we thank you and light this candle to honor you. Will those of you who have been members for 10 to 20 years, please raise your hand. Aha. We have Ken Wachter and Tim McLean and Tom Mead and Adam Hargrove and me too. And I see a whole bunch of you also on Zoom. Although I think some of you need to put the hand down. I don't know. Anyway, okay. I'm loving the technology. We're having fun with it. You have been part of this community for over a decade. You have helped to create who we have been and who we are today, through easy times and through hard times. For your ongoing and steadfast dedication, we thank you and light this candle to honor you. Will those of you who have been members for 20 to 30 years, please raise your hand. Nobody in that category, huh? Well, there must be somebody around. You are pillars of this congregation. You have been here through numerous religious professionals and overseen many changes internally and externally. For your commitment to the long view of this faith community, we thank you and light this candle to honor you. And now, will those of you who have been members of this Unitarian Universalist congregation of Lakeland for 30 or more years, please raise your hand or stand up, do a little dance. Kino! And you're not?
I've been here for 57 years.
57 years, woo! That's Ann Kearton, 57 years. Kino, how many years?
46.
46. Hallelujah. You have made this moment possible. You are the backbone and support of what the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Lakeland is today. Each one of us is here because of your hard work and dedication. There is much for us to thank you for. This is only a small portion of the list. For these inspirational buildings, we thank you. For the hours spent in meetings, we thank you. For the time and energy spent raising money, we thank you. For the ongoing support and dedication through both the difficult and the enjoyable, we thank you. For an amazing religious education program based on love and respect, we thank you. For the vision to work towards sustaining a faith of freedom and individuality, we thank you. For creating this beloved community which feels like home to so many of us, we thank you. For being your best selves and expecting us to live into our best selves, we thank you. And we light this candle to honor you. Fantastic. And let us sing a little something together and rejoice in our collective lights. This is sung response from our hymnal. It's number 380. I think the tune will be familiar, but Adam will play it through once, and then I think the lyrics will be on your screen. You can sing it together. Time for our story. This is one of my favorites by one of my favorite authors, Eric Carle. It's called A House for Hermit Crab. Time to move, said Hermit Crab one day in January. I've grown too big for this little shell. He had felt safe and snug in his shell, but now it was too snug. Hermit Crab stepped out of the shell and onto the floor of the ocean, but it was frightening out in the open sea without a shell to hide in. What if a big fish comes along and attacks me, he thought. I must find a new house soon. Early in February, Hermit Crab found just the house he was looking for. It was a big shell and strong. He moved right in, wiggling and waggling about inside it to see how it felt. It felt just right. But it looks so, well, plain, thought Hermit Crab. In March, Hermit Crab met some sea anemones. They swayed gently back and forth in the water. How beautiful you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to come and live on my house? It is so plain. It needs you. I'll come, whispered a small sea anemone. Gently, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. In April, Hermit Crab passed a flock of starfish moving slowly along the sea floor. How handsome you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to decorate my house? I would, signaled a little sea star. Carefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his house. In May, Hermit Crab discovered some coral. They were hard and didn't move. How pretty you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to help make my house more beautiful? I would, creaked a crusty coral. Gingerly, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In June, Hermit Crab came to a group of snails crawling over a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking up algae and bits of debris and leaving a neat path behind them. How tidy and hard-working you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to come and clean my house? I would, offered one of the snails. Happily, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In July, Hermit Crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles. How fierce you look, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to protect my house? I would, answered a spiky sea urchin. Gratefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it near his shell. In August, Hermit Crab and his friends wandered into a forest of seaweed. It's so dark here, thought Hermit Crab. How dim it is, murmured the sea anemone. How gloomy it is, whispered the starfish. How murky it is, complained the coral. I can't see, said the snail. It's like nighttime, cried the sea urchin. In September, Hermit Crab spotted a school of lanternfish darting through the dark water. How bright you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to light up our house? I would, replied one lanternfish, and it swam over near the shell. In October, Hermit Crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles. How sturdy you are, said Hermit Crab. Would you mind if I rearranged you? Not at all, answered the pebbles. Hermit Crab picked them up, one by one, with his claw, and built a wall around his shell. Now, my house is perfect, cheered Hermit Crab. But in November, Hermit Crab felt that his shell seemed a bit too small. Little by little, over the year, Hermit Crab had grown. Soon he would have to find another, bigger home. But he had come to love his friends, the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the sea urchin, the snail, the lanternfish, and even the smooth pebbles. They have been so good to me, thought Hermit Crab. They are like a family. How can I ever leave them? In December, a smaller hermit crab passed by. I have outgrown my shells, she said. Would you know of a place for me? I have outgrown my house too, said Hermit Crab. I must move on. You are welcome to live here, but you must promise to be good to my friends. I promise, said the little crab. The following January, Hermit Crab stepped out and the little crab moved in. Couldn't stay in that little shell forever, said Hermit Crab as he waved goodbye. The ocean floor looked wider than he had remembered, but Hermit Crab wasn't afraid. Soon he spied the perfect house, a big empty shell. It looked, well, a little plain, but sponges, he thought, barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. Oh, there are so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started. Connection. Add some love and soon you will witness transformation. These are the shared values of this congregation, and it's no wonder because as it turns out, these values, connection, love, and transformation are the very essence of life. Like Hermit Crab, we don't journey down this road alone. We move along, picking up companions of various sorts along the way, entering into relationships of reciprocity, growing and transforming, and leaving a legacy of love. Without relationships, none of this is possible. We cannot learn and grow. We cannot give or receive. We cannot love or be loved. We cannot feel fulfilled without connection to others. University of Chicago professor Dr. John Capioccio writes in a Psychology Today article, although we like to think of ourselves as mythic individualists, we are fundamentally social organisms. We are born to the most prolonged period of abject dependency of any mammal. For the species to survive, human infants must instantly engage their parents in protective behavior, and the parents must care enough about their offspring to nurture and protect them. Even once grown, we are not particularly splendid physical specimens. Other animals can run faster, see and smell better, and fight more effectively than we can. Our major evolutionary advantage is our brain and ability to communicate, remember, plan, and work together. Our survival depends on our collective abilities, not our individual might. Our very health and well-being depend on our ability to form and maintain satisfying social connections with one another. Yes, that's right. As it turns out, the more connected we are, the better our physical health, too. Psychologist, author, and social science columnist for the Wall Street Journal, Susan Pinker, has done extensive research on the topic of social connections. Her research reveals that the top 2 predictors of longevity were both aspects of one's social life: close relationships and social integration. They were more predictive of longevity than drinking, smoking, exercise habits, or any other measure. By close relationships, researchers don't necessarily mean family, but more specifically, do you have people you can rely on? Someone you would go to for a loan or for comfort during an existential crisis. And by social integration, they meant, do you know the name of the person who serves you coffee or checks you out at the store? Are you part of a weekly book club, poker group, etc.? And I'm going to add church to that, where you have positive interactions with people in your community. These are the most important factors that will determine how long you'll live, and according to other research studies, how satisfied you'll be with your life. In a world that is more disconnected than ever before, we have to consciously choose to create and sustain relationships. According to a growing body of research, it is quite literally a matter of life and death. Here's the actual biology behind that from Psychology Today. Lonely individuals show elevations in cortisol, a powerful stress hormone. Lonely individuals also showed an underexpression of genes bearing glucocorticoid response elements with a corresponding overexpression of genes for inflammation. These differences were not attributable to other demographic, psychological, or medical characteristics. These findings suggest that poor social connections influence the risk of human diseases in part by altering the sensitivity of the receptors on immune cells to an important class of stress hormones, which in normal circumstances would keep inflammation in check and promote immunity and healing and foster cognition and overall biological resilience. Dear ones, deepening our understanding of the sacred processes by which our bodies work can raise our awareness about how we've made it through the past year. We have all come through it differently. We have all experienced a variety of emotions, feelings we were not even familiar with, and perhaps many moments when answers and solutions were more elusive than ever before. To know that isolation and disconnection actually give way to negative effects on our bodies should help us to build compassion for ourselves and to influence our choices. That is, to choose to reach out to others instead of retreat further into isolation. We need others, and others need us. I can't even begin to imagine what my life over the past year would have been like without this UUCL community. How about you? Some of us are fortunate to live with our families, others are not. But remember, Pinker's research shows that health increases when social connections include those outside of your home too. Social connections with positive interactions, from something as casual as an exchange of smiles with the cashier at the store to meaningful conversations with those from your faith community. Yesterday, 8 of us met at Munn Park and walked down Kentucky Avenue during the Saturday Farmers Market. We had our Yellow Side with Love t-shirts on. Petra, Tim, and I wore some fun hats. And we handed out flowers to people. While we did tag them with the phrase, "love is all you need," and our social media info, the primary reason for our adventure into downtown Lakeland was to be joyful and spread our message of love. And that's what we did. As I was walking towards a group of 4 young women, they started to smile at me, and I handed them each a flower. Their smiles grew even bigger, and they were just so excited to be getting a beautiful, free flower. But something on their faces was questioning and curious. Why? What was I handing them a flower for? I said, "We're just spreading love today because, well, why not?" One young woman echoed me, "Yeah, why not?" And we moved on from each other. But that connection filled my day with absolute joy. And I hope it did theirs too. And I hope they keep moving that love and that joy forward. I like to think of the butterfly effect, that one small flap of a butterfly wing can cause a domino effect of changes. And with 8 of us out there yesterday with bunches of flowers, there were many butterfly wing flaps going on. It's all about connection. The great thing is, even if these people don't ever want to join our community, they know that a loving community actually exists. One that believes so strongly in the power of love that they go out and hand flowers to random strangers. There is so much hope in that. We are here, and we are here to connect, love, and transform. To quote Susan Pinker again, building in-person interaction into our cities, into our workplaces, into our agendas, bolsters the immune systems, sends feel-good hormones surging through the bloodstream and brain, and helps us live longer. I call this building your village, and building it and sustaining it is a matter of life. Connecting, and let us do some connecting now. I would like to highlight the labor of love and the good works that it takes to build a connected and loving church community. What do you offer? Think of all the things you've done around here, even if it's just show up. Today may be the only day that I might ask you not to humble yourselves. I want you to brag. I want you to brag on yourself and someone else. But we're going to try to keep it down to about 10 to 20 seconds, okay? I know that everyone here has contributed something of their time, talent, and treasures. You are all a blessing to this community. And if you are new, I'd like for you to tell us how you envision that you can put your unique gifts to work, because we are so excited to have you with us. So, we're going to take turns. I'm going to model this, okay? You'll speak, and then you'll maybe say one thing you've done, point out somebody else, something they've done, or what you're wondering that they've done, and then they will speak. So, let me just check and make sure that, yeah, okay. Hopefully she's paying attention. For example, I, Heather, have volunteered to sort food and drive routes for the It Takes a Village Mobile Food Pantry Coalition. And I know that Melissa has put in countless hours to keep ITAV running effectively and efficiently. So go, Melissa. That means unmute yourself if she's there. All right, Robin, I see you in the chat. Go, Robin, unmute yourself. And then call on somebody else. Oh, there's Melissa. I can't hear Melissa.
I'm unmuted.
Now you're unmuted.
Okay. So I coordinate volunteers for It Takes a Village. And Dorothy Lemmy does just about everything. She drives with Ken for us. She loads food. She takes care of our beautiful grounds.
All right, go Dorothy.
All right, Melissa, you are unreal. Anyway, what else? I'm on the nominating committee, and I know that Crystal does a whole lot of work on those grounds and the flowers she has donated. Okay.
All right, Crystal. I know she's there.
You have to do that.
Oh, she's passing it back to Ken.
Okay, this is Ken, and I got the long defunct irrigation system working. And I know John Hughes has done a lot of work on the grounds also.
John Hughes. There's John. There he is. He's there. John, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm watching from the kitchen. Start my video again. Okay, there. Well, I appreciate the recognition that I've gotten, and again, Crystal has done so much for the grounds. It looks better than it ever has. That's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Crystal, I think it's back to you. Okay, Brandon and Justin. They're just waving back from the tech booth. All right. Brandon and Justin do a heck of a lot. Look at them back there. And there's Vaisel, too, adding to the team. All right. I'm going to call on Petra. Just say something and I'll... Oh, are you ready to talk? I'm so sorry. The wonders of technology. Okay. All right. Petra.
Okay. Whenever possible, I like to sing in the choir. And I would then have to call on somebody here because I can't see the people.
Sure.
How about Mary Wilson?
Oh, Marilyn Crossan? Okay, Petra, who sings in the choir, is calling on Marilyn Crossan. I keep losing my name.
Am I unmuted?
You're unmuted, Mary.
Oh, thank you. All right, I have enjoyed starting the book club, and we have been dealing with, we're on our third book, and I thoroughly enjoy everybody who helps with that, and I particularly appreciate John Fox for getting it started for us. Every time we meet, I can count on him getting everybody logged in. And thank you, John.
Is that John Fox?
John Fox.
John Fox, now's your time. You can brag a little bit.
Well, I'm not going to brag. I used to do a lot more work on the church than I did, but hopefully I can do a little more volunteering and so on. So I'm happy to be part of this community, and I'm going to, of course, praise my wife who puts in at least 15 to 20 hours a week on the accounting and bookkeeping for the church and so on. So Jeanette, where are you?
So that's me. Yeah, I do the bookkeeping for the church, volunteer job. And gee, I was gonna turn it over to so many people who have already been acknowledged, but I want to acknowledge Ann Kearton, whose hair that I hope someday mine will look like, and who was our first female chair of the board at this congregation.
Ann, she turned it over to you.
I was just trying to think because she said I was the first chairman of the board.
Oh, she's the first chairwoman of the board.
At that time was elected president. Of the congregation because now we choose the board, they select their own supervisor.
Right.
But I don't know where to begin because I was already Sunday school superintendent before I ever signed the book.
Right. Well, name one thing you've been doing lately. Where you been lately?
Where have I been lately?
Tell people what you've been doing here.
What have I been doing here lately? I've been working with the Texas Village.
Indeed. Ann is faithful ITAB volunteer. Thank you, Ann. Who would you like to pass it to?
I don't know. Jack?
Jack Pepper.
Well, I haven't been a member here very
She said
long. I attempted to serve on the board of directors.
You did serve on the board of directors.
Found that it was too much for me to physically maintain, so I stepped aside at that point. I live some distance from here and am not able to participate in most of the activities that we have going on. But I keep up the newsletter and try to attend every Sunday.
That's right.
Know what happens.
Jack lives quite a distance away, and he can't participate in everything, but he is here almost every Sunday now that we've opened it up to people who cannot Zoom. And we are so glad to see him on Sunday mornings. Yeah. So I'm watching the time. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. And I know that there are many of you who didn't get to speak. Can I ask you to put it in the chat, please? What you've done, or if you're new, like I see there's Irene and Skip and Stacy. I haven't met y'all yet. And there's somebody else on here. That was new, Sharon. If you all, and then in the Friends family, if you put in the chat, what you envision yourself doing with us, if anything. We'd love to have you, and we'd love to know what your dreams are. And if I didn't call on you, because I'm looking, there's so many of you, right? I'd love for you to just put that in the chat, and I will have like this collection of everybody's work, and I think that will be really powerful in showing what goes into this community and how much we really do connect and lift each other up. Thank you. So, I have a few things planned for us today. Our next activity, we'll skip that for now. How about that? Okay. I was going to have you sing again, but let's just move on. What is it about UUCL that you value? Now, this is going to be a fun little thing. Petra has some cards and some pens that she's going to pass to the folks in the congregation. We're really just looking for one word or two-word little phrases, like, what do you value? And the people online, you're going to get a link to go to where you can enter in things like love, togetherness, whatever it is that you value, whatever it is that keeps you here and fulfills your heart. I think Justin's getting that set up. And then we're going to watch ourselves grow. This is a little experiment, y'all. Thank you for being willing participants. No, you're going to bring them back to the sound booth, and they're going to put them in. All right, so go on and click on that link and put in what it is about UUCL that you value. Thank you. Work in the chat, so maybe they didn't get to the link. We want you to enter it on the link, but someone can put teamwork in Mentimeter for me. Is the link working? It is working? Okay. No, not just one. I said you could put in as many as you want. I guess the link's working, but I don't see anything.
Well, that's true. There's nothing in there about what you most value. What do you value? That could be a multiple answer.
Oh, there we go. Look, it is working. Okay. Yay. Keep putting in words. And we're going to watch. I guess it doesn't grow in front of us, does it?
Well, that's him having to reload it.
Oh, okay.
He adds words and then he reloads it and they come up. I think that's what I'm talking about.
Petra, you've become quite the tech expert. Belonging, collaboration, fellowship, friendship, learning, connection, community, acceptance, non-judgment.
What did he say?
I don't know.
Bubbling.
I like it.
Religious synchronism.
Sharing food, religious synchronism. Syncretism, yes. I can't see some of these. Cohesiveness. Understanding. Diversity. Non-doctrinal camaraderie. I've been talking too much. So we can capture this image and make it into an artwork. We sure can. Thank you. All right. I think we will. We will just take a couple moments for a reflection for our next activity. And I want you to, because we're getting short on time, I'm not going to put you in breakout groups, but I'm going to ask you to reflect. Let me start over. I'm going to ask you to reflect on your entire experience with this congregation. Recall a time when you felt alive, involved, spiritually touched, or most excited about your involvement at UUCL. Think about this memorable experience that you have had with your church. Think about it in detail, as many details as you can. What made it exciting? Who was involved? How did it feel? And what was the result of this experience? And if you're totally new today, please reflect on your vision of a beloved community and what you need from a church. And think and reflect with intention, because these are things that I want you to start talking to each other about, or keep talking to each other about. These are the stories. These are the stories of who we are and who we are becoming. So Adam's going to play for a couple minutes. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for being sacred participants in joy, in ancestors that will leave a legacy of love. Let us sing one more time together our doxology. I also want to thank you for all being willing participants in our little experiments, connecting in person and online. And thank you to our tech team for juggling everything back there. Just gets better and better every week. I'm so excited. So we have something, they're laughing, something good. There's joy in the tech room. All right. We have a special award that we want to give out. So I'm going to ask that Brandon come up and help me with that. It's the tradition of this congregation to give out a, we used to call it the Person of the Year Award, but now it's called the Special Service Award. And, well, Brandon's going to come tell us a little bit more about it.
So we usually have a person of the year that we recognize. This has been the year of all years where so many people have contributed in so many ways. But there are two individuals that I feel like stand out in particular. So we're going to have persons of the year this year. And those two individuals are Ken and Dorothy. I cannot encompass all of, they do a lot that is not necessarily upfront and seen. Ken has been here rewiring and helping with all kinds of tech stuff behind the scenes. They have worked on the patio and the gardens and the grounds, working with ITAV. Those two individuals have done so much, although so many of us have done so much as well. But those two individuals I've seen doing so much. And we also have, and Justin, if you'll spotlight it, we have a little gift for you, Ken and Dorothy. right down there. If you see the little birdhouse, 2 little birds and a little heart. It is our token of appreciation for you, Ken and Dorothy, for all that you do. And thank you so much.
Yay. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Ken and Dorothy. I think Ken and Dorothy are going to be gone for the summer, so whew. Can we have some of your energy before you leave, please? All right, well, Adam put together a very special video for us today that highlights visually some of what we do together.
Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Spirit of great mystery, hear the still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, be the source of my intuition. When life is done for me, let love be my legacy.
Go through them, you can. I just bring them.
Good job.
You remember 1969.
I certainly remember 1969.
December.
And so I'm offering this little phrase to sing from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas. Thank you, Adam. Oh, goodness. My closing words are from the Reverend Mark Morrison Reed. The central task of the religious community is to unveil the bonds that bind each to all. There is a connectedness, a relationship discovered amid the particulars of our own lives and the lives of others. Once felt, it inspires us to act for justice. It is the church that assures us that we are not struggling for justice on our own, but as members of a larger community. The religious community is essential, for alone our vision is too narrow to see all that must be seen, and our strength too limited to do all that must be done. Together, our vision widens and our strength is renewed. Amen, and blessed be, and alleluia, and I believe we have a closing hymn.
Alhamdulillah,
Elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah.
Hold on. It's coming.
Elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah.
Can they hear it on Zoom? All right, cool. we can kind of hear it through the walls.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah,
Alhamdulillah,
elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah,
alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah,
elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah,
alhamdulillah,
elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah,
alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah,
elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah,
alhamdulillah,
elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah.
alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
I'm on. Okay. Thank you, Vaisal and Nancy, for singing. That was, it is the holy month of Ramadan. So I appreciate the work you put into that. Okay. Today we have our annual meeting. I believe it's going to begin at 12:30. Yes? Okay. So if you are a voting member, please stay on so you can vote, have your voice heard. And if you're not, you are welcome to stick around on Zoom. It will be on the Zoom channel, and just, observe how we do business and what we are doing and what we are planning for the future. Don't think I have any other oh, we have to extinguish the chalice. Thank you, Tim. I don't have any other announcements that I can think of. So, all right, Tim, let's extinguish that chalice. We extinguish this
chalice,
but not the
but
light
not
of
the
truth,
light of truth,
the warmth
the
of
warmth
love,
of
of the fire of commitment. These we carry
cherish in our
hearts and out
and
into
out
the
into
world.
the world.
Yay. Amen. All right, well, we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be back at 12:30 for the meeting. In the meantime, we're going to play our Love Shenanigans videos. We have the Coldplay Adventure of a Lifetime. We are certainly on an adventure of a lifetime together, and I don't know if the tech team will be able to bring up Crystal Blue and Love Train, but perhaps for your entertainment. Maybe he can find them. We'll have something going until 12:30. So thank you all. I can't wait to read the chat and see all of the things that you have been doing, and feel free to keep putting things in there because all right. Thank you. Yeah, take a break. Yeah, stay here. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
under this weight. We are diamonds, and I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. I feel my heart beating. You make me feel like I'm alive again. Alive again. Oh, you make me feel like I'm alive again. Said I can't go on, not in this way. I'm a dream that died by light of day. Gonna hold up half the sky and say, only I own me. And I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. Oh, I can feel my heart beating. 'Cause you make me feel like I'm alive again. Alive again. Oh, you make me feel.
Oh, the best part is being with Unitarians.
But this is relaxing. It's so green around here and the water, and you hear sunbirds.
If we've only got this life, this adventure alive. If we've only got this life,
But we noticed there's less birds here than there used to be. But